Our next guest says that hybrid return to work schedules should have retailers rethinking their strategies. Joining us right now with his insights on consumer spending habits and the impact on shopping centers and commercial real estate is Jan Kniffen, J. Rogers Kniffen, WWE CEO. Jan, let's talk about this. You have some observations just from your own commuting back into work, what it looks like now versus what it looks like then. Why don't you walk us through that?
Well, sometimes you don't actually have to talk to 5,000 consumers. You can just take the train in every day for 3 weeks at the same time and back out at the same time and compare it to when you used to do that before COVID. And my observation was Tuesdays and Thursdays are relatively busy. Wednesday, not so much. Mondays and Fridays are dead. And if that's true, and I know it's summer, but I've commuted into the summer many times, this looks different. And I think any retailer will tell you that's true. And I think anybody looking at the urban environment will tell you it's true. My commute was into New York, of course. And I think New York is relatively typical of big urban environments now as far as going back to work. And it may even be pushing a little harder than others because a lot of the financial firms are pushing pretty hard. So I don't think this is an oddball observation. I think we're seeing a fundamental change. The hybrid workplaces are real. And I don't know about everybody else out there watching, but 90% of my meetings now are either on video or they're a hybrid. And most of the hybrids turn out to be mostly video. So it was unusual that I would have 3 weeks in a row that I was going into the office every day to work on a project. I don't see how that doesn't dramatically affect the city centers. How can we not have a big real estate write-down of commercial property if, in fact, the offices aren't going to be full? People are not going to pay for that rent space. And how can we not see a big change in where people shop if they're not doing their commute nearly as often?
And where they shop, where they eat, right? It affects everything.
Right. The restaurants get affected and where you shop gets affected. And we're seeing retailers react to that already. And so suburban and urban environments are looking better than urban environments. And I don't think that that's just temporary. I think we're back to the new normal.
So what advice would you give retailers in particular, since that's your area of expertise, that's the industry you've been in for decades and decades?
Well, I still think we have a big transition coming. I don't think we've closed nearly enough stores because the stores have to close that are not doing enough volume to be sustainable. So I think we'll see stores open in environments where people are spending more of their time now, and we'll see the stores close, particularly in the urban areas, because they're struggling. I don't see how that doesn't cause a significant change. And, you know, we're already seeing a change in the way people shop. We're up to 22% online now versus the 11% before COVID. That's not going back. It has slowed as far as its growth rate, and we may be only 21 or 22 again this year. But it's not going to stop there. It is going to continue to grow off of that base. So we're going to have to deal with that. And then we're going to have to deal with the fact that people just aren't traveling in the same patterns that they were. And retailers are going to have to change how they approach you. The other thing they have to do, of course, is something to get you to physically come to a store to make it more entertaining, more of an experience. You're not just going to go shop like we did in the past. And that's why you're seeing so many restaurants go into malls. You're seeing so many experiential event things go into malls because there's no other way to get foot traffic. And so all retailers are looking at it. I'm preaching to the choir here for anybody that's in retail that's listening, because they're all looking at this exact same problem.
You know, Jan, the overstoring of America, the overmalling in America, that's not new. That's not necessarily COVID related. That's not necessarily just online shopping. I mean, I remember writing stories about this 25 years ago and longer about how there was just too much retail space in America, and we kept building more and more into that. Who are the winners and the losers in this entire situation? Who's done well to figure this out and say, okay, we're going to do things differently?
You were writing about it. I was causing it. We peaked on mall in 1992. Trust me on this. I was right there involved. And who is doing it well? Well, we're watching it already, right? We've seen what a great job Walmart has done by making everything available to everybody, every place. And that's allowed them to be successfully competing with Amazon. And Target has moved that way really hard, too. I still think that Walmart sort of has set the pace, but Target, you've seen how much of their business is coming out of the store, despite the fact that it's being bought online or being picked up. So we've seen that happen. But we've also seen smaller players determine that they have to be bigger in the eyes of the consumer. And so they've got to either have a presence online or they've got to be on a third-party site. And, Amazon's done that, but Walmart's done that as well. And a lot of other retailers are moving to have third-party sites for smaller players. And we've got to do that, too, because the consumer has said to us, here's how I'm going to shop. I'm going to shop online. I'm going to come to your store occasionally. I want you to have a store so I can drop stuff off, pick stuff up. But I want to be able to do all my shopping online if I want to. And I want it to have the full range.
Hey, Jan, it's John Ford. So how's Apple positioned? Interesting, because they got earnings after the bell, and they not only have a presence in particularly high-end malls, but also in urban areas that traditionally had high foot traffic. They've tended to be sort of a host unto themselves, drawing traffic. But what do you think the impact post-COVID is on them?
Well, I think it's really funny you would say that, because Apple's a really good example. You can go to a mall where Apple's doing $5,000 a square foot, and nobody's going there and going someplace else. They're just going to the Apple store and turning around and leaving. And that's really been a problem from the point of view of the draw, because the draw hasn't fed the mall. But I contend that had strategy at Apple been just rent a bunch of trucks, drive them around the country, open the back doors and say, come and get the product, they could have sold it just as well, because what their secret is they've got the best stuff. And I think that they're a draw however they're selling it to you. But do I think they'll stay with having stores? Absolutely. And do I think that people like Best Buy will stay with having stores? Absolutely. But I still think you have to have that offering online where you can buy anything I've got and get it to me in a day or two, because you just can't expect them to come to the store for it.